Hi everyone, my name is Sandeep and today I want to discuss about Newton's first law in motion. So the first law in motion according to Newton goes like any object continues to be in the state of motion or in the state of rest until unless acted upon by an external force to act otherwise. So what Newton is trying to tell us is that the momentum of an object, which is the product of its mass and velocity, continues to stay constant until unless there is an external force acting upon the very object, and he goes on to explain what a force is in his second law. But considering this statement, several questions arise, like is it truly describing the fundamentals of this universe, and what is the proof of this statement, and how did Newton come to this conclusion? We will try to answer these very questions in this presentation. So when we reinterpret the Newton's first law, it goes like any object continues to be in motion or in the state of rest until unless acted upon by an external force to act otherwise. So Newton's law actually is trying to predict an object to be in motion when there is no external force acting upon it. So in order to explain it clearly, according to Newton's first law, there is an object which continues to be in motion when there is no external force acting upon it. Does such an object really exist? Um, Tells us the truth whether the Newton's first law is actually a law, a accepted statement, or is it a truth about the universe? So we cannot actually prove the Newton's first law to be true because no one can conduct an experiment long enough in order to prove that an object continues to move for infinity when there is no force acting upon it. So now the conclusion is that we cannot actually prove the Newton's first law to be any truth about the universe. Rather, it is just a law which is accepted in physics because it has some practical advantages, which we will see further. So, the Newton's first law, which we already talked about to be an untruth about the universe or something which cannot be proven, is accepted to be true as a law in physics because any object in our daily life, like for example a car or any other object, comes to rest because of friction. The friction can be due to air and the body of the car or within the bearings of the wheels, etc. But what the idea is that the friction actually dominates in stopping most of the moving objects. Hence, by approximating to an idea that any object continues to be in motion or in the state of rest until unless there is an external force acting upon it, we are able to apply the first law in machines where friction dominates, and thus it is practically helpful. Most of the cases, like in the case of car we have talked, or any moving object, friction is what dominates as a load to the input. So now the question is, if it's not a truth, should we call it a law or not? Of course, we can call it a law because a law is just a widely accepted truth, but it's not a universal truth. So we obviously know that Newton's law is not a universal truth, nor it can be proven. Hence, we only accept it for its practical advantages in machines where friction dominates. So now we can see how this idea of first law got developed because by observing that many physical objects actually stop because of friction.